Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Night 6 on Five Nights at Freddy's 4. This is actually a pretty easy night compared to the other Night 6s in the franchise anyway. This is basically a weird mix of Night 4 and 5 with more aggressive AI. The standard Nightmare animatronics will attack between 12 and 4 a.m., and then Nightmare Fredbear will appear between 4 and 6 a.m. So in this video, I'm mainly going to be doing a brief overview of the strategy for 12 to 4 a.m., then the strategy for 4 to 6 a.m. If you want a better understanding of why these strategies work and some other minor tips, I recommend watching my Night 4 and Night 5 guides, both of which are linked in the cards above. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into it. As I said, Night 6 is basically a combination of Night 4 and Night 5 with more aggressive AI. So the standard Nightmare animatronics are going to attack between 12 and 4 a.m., basically just like on Night 4, just a little more aggressive. So you are going to have to move fairly quickly. You will benefit from watching my Night 1 through 4 guides in this section if you're not too familiar with how the standard Nightmare animatronics work, but you're already at Night 6, so you should be anyway. So as usual, you're going to want to go ahead and run up to the left door at the start of the night and shine the flashlight just to go ahead and load that up, because they do take a longer time to load the first time that you run up to them. Same with the bed. After you run back from the door, then go ahead and turn around and look at the bed, shine the flashlight there. You might catch a Freddy there. I heard breathing there. As you can see, Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Chica are pretty aggressive early. They will start attacking as early as 12 a.m. So the main goal for this night, you'll notice I'm lingering at the doors here instead of moving as fast as possible. I covered the strategy in depth in my Night 4 guide, where I was talking about how to keep Foxy out of the room for as long as possible, and that's the strategy that we're going to be doing here. So in short, you're going to want to listen for Foxy's footsteps, which are quick footsteps running back and forth, pretty quiet, not the loud, deep footsteps that you'll hear from Bonnie and Chica as they walk down the halls. So basically what you're going to want to do is just listen for Foxy's quick footsteps, and you're going to follow those around. So you're just going to wait in the center of the room until you hear Foxy run back and forth. If you wait about 4 seconds and you don't hear him at all, then just go ahead and run up to a door, preferably the one that he's currently at. So if you hear him run up to the right door and then don't hear anything for about 4 seconds, then you're going to want to run up to the right door if possible. If you don't know where he is, then honestly just pick a door where you think Bonnie or Chica are. If you hear deep footsteps on one side of the hall, then it may be wise to go ahead and run up to that door and listen for breathing. If you don't hear it, go ahead and shine the light, and they should be at the end of the hall, just like I did with Nightmare Chica there. So the main goal of the 12 to 4 a.m. section, this is going to apply to night 7 through 8 also, so it's important to remember this. See, I warded Foxy off there, I'm pretty sure. The main goal is to keep Foxy out of the room for as long as possible, so this is why we're listening for his footsteps before running up to a specific door. So he likes to run back and forth sometimes on night 6, especially on night 7 and 8. You'll hear him sometimes run back and forth, left, right, and just keep doing that for a while. So you're going to wait until his footsteps stop. If you're just idling in the room for about 5+ seconds, then you can just go ahead and run up to a door, because obviously you need to be a bit worried about Bonnie or Chica getting in the room and attacking you. But yeah, for the most part, you're just going to be listening for Foxy's footsteps and running up to whatever door he goes to. If you do end up running to the same door multiple times in a row, like 2 or 3 times, then you probably are going to want to go ahead and check the other door regardless of where Foxy currently is, because Bonnie or Chica can obviously sneak into the room and kill you. You can kind of judge basically how many times you can actually check the same door by how long it's been since you warded an animatronic off. So, say Foxy keeps appearing in the right hallway and you keep running to the right door. If just recently you shined the flashlight down the left hall and warded off Bonnie at the end of it, then you should be good to run up to that door about 3 times before actually going over to the left door, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you hear footsteps in the left hall, then you probably want to go check that if you haven't warded off Bonnie in a while. So that's just an example. So basically, yeah, the goal is just keep Foxy out of the room for as long as possible. Listen for his footsteps. Make sure you have a decent pair of headphones. That's going to be very important for this section and the next section. It's now 3 a.m., and as I said, starting from 4 a.m., Nightmare Fredbear is going to replace all of the animatronics, and the gameplay is going to be very similar to Night 5. So if you want a more in-depth explanation of how Nightmare Fredbear works, then like I said, I would recommend going and watching my Night 5 guide. I went over a lot of the mechanics of how he works. I'm just going to be doing a brief overview of the strategy you should be using here. But yeah, in short, for the 12 to 4 a.m. section, just keep Foxy out of the room for as long as possible. If you can keep him from getting in the closet up until 4 a.m., then you should be good to go. Make sure you have your volume turned up pretty loud. It is now 4 a.m. You're going to have to be ready to immediately transition to the 4 a.m. section, so just snap into the Fredbear mindset, I guess. So you're going to want to listen for his footsteps. He'll run back and forth, back and forth. Usually he runs back and forth between the left and right hall quite a bit. He is definitely more aggressive than he is on night 5, which actually isn't a bad thing necessarily, because there was only one time, I think, where he actually didn't appear in the hall when I ran up to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to listen, wait for him to run back and forth, and then count whenever his footsteps stop, and then restart the count if you hear them again. So basically, if it's been 3 seconds and you haven't heard his footsteps, then that means that he is currently stopped at the door. You're going to want to run up to that door, quickly shine the flashlight, and immediately close the door if you see him there. I hear a lot of people say, oh, don't use the flashlight, that gets you killed. This is false. This can happen sometimes with Nightmare, but I don't believe it happens with Nightmare Fredbear. They're just dying to something else they don't understand. So always use the flashlight, because that is very important to actually check if he is there. This is great for beginners also. It may not know how to deal with Nightmare Fredbear as well, just because if you can't tell the difference between a real and a fake laugh, and sometimes I can't even tell the difference, then it is very important to actually check to make sure he's in that hallway when you close the door, otherwise you could die. I don't think he actually enters the room here during this playthrough. I think he only fake laughs once. This was really bad for me. I heard a fake laugh, I'm pretty sure, and checked the hallway, and he wasn't there. So I checked the bed and the closet and figured he must be in the right hall. There he is, so I went ahead and closed the door and just barely avoided it. I talked about this a lot during my Night 5 guide, because it got me killed a lot while I was attempting that night. So basically what happened there was sometimes Nightmare Fredbear just won't appear in the hallway for a while. So if you check the bed and the closet after a fake laugh and he's not there, he is 100% in that hall if you haven't heard footsteps again. So basically, if you run up to a hall, shine the light, and he isn't there, just go back to the room, wait about 3 to 4 seconds, then run back up to the door. If you don't hear any footsteps during that time period, that is, and he will 100% be there, and you can go ahead and ward him off. So, like I said, hopefully I did a decent job of explaining this. I went into this a lot more in-depth during my Night 4, and especially my Night 5 guide, talking about the standard Nightmare animatronics for Night 4 and Fredbear for Night 5. So, once again, I would recommend going to check those out. But this should give you just a basic overview of the strategy you're going to want to follow. One final tip that I can give you that will actually help you quite a bit outside of the game is I would recommend, if you have your phone or your laptop somewhere around, or just anything really that has a stopwatch, maybe even just a certain type of watch, then I would recommend setting a stopwatch as soon as you start up the night, like as soon as the bedroom becomes visible and you can run through doors. I would recommend starting up a stopwatch just then. Every hour in FNaF 4 is 60 seconds, which means every night is 6 minutes flat. This is actually extremely helpful because you can tell when you're about to hit 4 a.m., so you can be prepared to transition to dealing with Nightmare Fredbear as opposed to the other standard Nightmare animatronics. I find that that helps me out a lot running a stopwatch while playing FNaF, especially in FNaF 4 on these later nights when there's a mix between the standard animatronics and Nightmare Fredbear or Nightmare. That was one of the things that helped me beat Night 8 in particular, so I would recommend running a stopwatch. But anyway, that's going to be all for now, guys. This was basically just a quick summary of what you should be looking to do on Night 6, how to counter the standard Nightmare animatronics as well as Nightmare Fredbear. Like I said, I didn't go super in-depth on this, but hopefully it should be alright anyway. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this guide. I hope it helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.